When you start doing your weekly review every single week and you do a daily mini planning session, that's when you become super productive. Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. My name is Pullein, and in this week's episode I'm going to show you how the weekly review and the daily mini planning session all fits together into a superb productivity system. And the key to this is trusting that you are going to do a weekly review every single week, which means you don't have to wishfully date tasks in the hope that you won't forget them. Now, before we go into Todoist, I would just like to say, if you do get any value from this video whatsoever, please help me by hitting that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to get the latest tips and tricks on Todoist, then please subscribe to this channel. Okay, let me take you into my demo account this week, and I will show you how it all fits together. Okay, so over the last few weeks I've covered things like the weekly review, I've covered the 2+8 prioritization method, but there seems to be still quite a bit of confusion about why you should not be adding dates beyond a week. Now, my rule is, when I'm working with Todoist, is that I only add dates for tasks for the following week. So this is why it's so crucial that you do a weekly review. If you're not doing a weekly review, what you're going to end up doing is adding dates randomly, because you don't want to forget the task. But if you're doing a weekly review, you don't have to add dates to all your tasks, because you know that at the end of the week, either it's Friday afternoon or Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, you are going to go through all your projects and you can make decisions about when you're going to do the tasks. So essentially, when you go into your projects list, like for example we did in the last episode, I did the complete mess of a project, the only dates that are in there are actually dates for this week. So in this case, we've got these for tomorrow. My routines, of course, are just routines. They're going to come up. There shouldn't be anything beyond a week. However, in the monthly routines, obviously they're going to be, but they're fixed dates and they have to be done on those particular dates. Now we're going to my work, and bear in mind, this is my demo project. So this is my demo account. If we go in here, there's no dates on anything that I'm not going to do this week, because I know I'm going to see these tasks next time I do my weekly review, and I can make a decision about when I'm going to do them. If I go into my home projects here, we've got only dates that are going to come up for the following week. This week in the case, so tomorrow and Friday, these are just the things that are coming up. Again, in my personal projects, we've got Wednesday, we've got tomorrow, and tomorrow. There's nothing in here that has a date except for my routines and ticklers, which would maybe. Now, for example, I've got a tickler here, which is order of navy blue polo jumper on 1st of October, because the tickler is acting as my little reminder. Again, I won't have to do it on the 1st of October, but the 1st of October is getting close to the winter, and I need to think about whether I want to buy a new polo neck sweater. Another one is like here, my check above and beyond tour dates. Again, this is dated for tomorrow. It's a tickler. It's going to come up tomorrow. So when I'm doing my daily planning, and if you decide that you don't want to use the 2+8 prioritization system to do your daily planning, you just go into the next 7 days view, which comes standard in all accounts of Todoist, whether you're using the free account or you're using the premium version. And I just go through, so let's have a look, like tomorrow is here. I imagine that today has been done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to check to see if these are still relevant. Now, I would check this against my calendar to make sure that I don't have a day full of back-to-back meetings where I may need to drop off some of these tasks. And for me personally, before I was doing the golden 10, what I used to do was I would then flag these items, whether I'm going to do this in the morning, I'm going to do this in the afternoon, and I'll do these in the evening. And essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to see this, I'm going to say, there seems to be a lot of tasks that I have to do. Is there anything that I can just shift off until tomorrow or the next day. And I'm going to think, okay, maybe I want to drop Peter off until Wednesday, so I'm just going to drop that onto Wednesday. I'm going to look at Call Jasper. I don't really need to do that till Thursday, so I'm going to add that for Thursday. I can go through that, and then I can just do a quick scan of Wednesday, see how that's looking, Thursday and Friday. That's it. These are the only tasks I need to be concerned about this week because I did my weekly review. They are coming up in my next 7 days view. So I can see ahead, but I don't need to allow myself to feel stressed and overwhelmed about tasks that don't need to be done this week. Now, of course, you've got the next actions label, which I don't have set up in here, but the next actions label are for the very next task in any project that doesn't have a date. And that way, if you do complete all your tasks early and you do get things done and you're having an amazingly productive week, you can then shift into your next actions list and start attacking those. But generally speaking, if you're doing a proper weekly review, you really do not need to be going into your projects list whilst you're doing your work. Throughout the day, of course, you're going to be collecting tasks, and then maybe you need to process, and when you're processing, you are going to move tasks into their projects. If they need doing this week, of course, you will date them for this week. But if they don't need doing this week, then you don't need to add a date because you can review them when you do the next weekly review. And that's the reason why the weekly review is like the key to reducing your stress, your overwhelm, and that feeling of busyness, because you never have tasks coming up that just actually do not need doing this week. And today's video feels like I'm having a bit of a rant, but when I look at the comments on these videos and I look at the emails that I'm receiving from people, the biggest problem is they just don't get how important the weekly review is if you want to reduce your stress, your overwhelm, and that feeling of busyness. If a task really does not need to be done next week, then don't date it. Know and trust yourself that you are going to do a full weekly review at the end of the week so that you can make a decision about when you want to do your tasks. I only date 7 days in advance, basically up until my next weekly review, and also I date tasks that do have to be done on a specific date. So for example, I do want to have a look at buying a new navy blue sweater on the 1st of October. And there may be other things that do have to be done on specific dates, in which case, of course, then you would add the date. But the vast majority of your tasks, when you start dating them randomly, are just wishful tasks that you hope to do on that day. And those are the tasks that are causing you to feel stressed out and overwhelmed. And you really want to start trusting yourself that you're going to do the full weekly review. Well, I hope this has given you a little bit of enlightenment. I hope it's helping you to reduce those levels of stress. Have a go when you next do your weekly review. Hopefully, if you've seen this video on the day it's published, on Sunday, you will now go ahead and do your weekly review. Review those projects, only add dates to tasks that need to be done next week. Any tasks that do not need to be done next week, do not date. You can date them when you do the next weekly review after this one. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching this episode. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you very much for watching this video. Now, have I got something special to tell you about? The Time and Life Mastery version 3 course has launched. Now, this course is transformative. It will transform your life. If you find that your life is drifting from one day to the next and that you feel that you're not actually achieving your goals, then this course is going to show you how to change that. It's going to show you how to identify what is truly important to you. It's going to show you how to find what it is you want out of life, and then show you the steps that you need to take in order to get there. This course is amazing. The feedback I've got from versions 1 and version 2 have just been tremendous. It has helped so many people, and I want this opportunity to tell you that it can do the same for you. I hope you will take a look at the course, have a go, take the course, and start transforming your life today. This course will do that for you. Take a look, get yourself enrolled, and hopefully I'll see you in the course.